All right, y'all. So I thought that I would go through today's price action and also the gamma exposure levels, which happened throughout the day. I am super excited for this video because it's a little bit different from my normal videos, but I'm going to live comment on the price action as it happens and then kind of go through my whole entire thought process. And I posted these all with timestamps, all my thoughts and everything as the gamma exposure levels started to pop up. I know a lot of you guys have questions about gamma exposure levels and how I use them, so this might be a little good video with you. Now in the future, I do plan on doing a actual live commentary on gamma exposure levels as they pop up, especially the 0DTE gamma exposure levels. Maybe this video will help you, so bear with me if there's technical difficulties or so. We're going to get through this video pretty quickly. I'm super excited for you guys to start using this tool and to show you how I use it. So let's get right into it. Okay. All right, so up here in the top corner, the left corner, you'll see the S&P 500 ETF, which is SPY. You'll see when I press play on this that it will show the entire price action of today. And then down below, you'll see my live commentary with timestamps at the very bottom. The timestamps are in Pacific time. So as you can see right here, it says 7:39 a.m. and that will be 10:39 a.m. Eastern time. So 7:39 a.m. Pacific time is my time, and then up here in the chart that you see right here, my cursor, 9:30 is when the market opens Eastern time. So just to give you a little bit of a preface as I move through this, there's a 3-hour difference between the timestamps of my thoughts down below right here, where my cursor is, and then a difference in the price action as we press play here. So let's get through this. I'm super excited. Let's figure out what my thoughts are, because I don't know all of them. So we're gonna go through this live, and I'll kind of guide you on what my thoughts were in this box down here at the bottom. Okay, so let's press play here. So this will go pretty quickly, and this is a line chart. So so this is market open today. You can see that we dropped down, but then we head back up. I want you guys to pay attention to the 455 level because we bounced off that quite a bit today. So here's that. So here's 455 up here. We did kind of break above it slightly, but not very much, like within 10 cents or so. 455 was a pretty big gamma exposure level. Let me show you kind of the idea of what happened. So this is 10:10 a.m. Eastern time. Let me pull up a screenshot that I have because I didn't have it here in the box down here. I had it somewhere else. So this was around that time. So 7:11 a.m. Pacific time is 10:11 Eastern time. So you can see that this 455 gamma exposure level was pretty big. It's kind of hard to see here, but this is a screenshot that I took around that time with the timestamp. So that 455 level was a resistance point since it's positive. So price rejects from those areas, whether it be moving down into it or up into it. That's a rejection point. So since we were moving up into this level, this was a big level during that time. So there was likely going to be a rejection there. So let's watch that price action. I can exit out of this. Let's watch this price action happen. So it's 10:10 Eastern time. So that's where we rejected earlier. I think we come back up. From what I remember, we do come back up at that 455 level, and then we reject it again. I can't really remember, but we'll see what happens here. And then we'll look at my live commentary here as well. Okay, yeah, we did kind of come up towards that 455 level. It didn't quite get there, but it got pretty close. So let's pause it right here because this is when I typed out this message down here at the bottom. So as you could see, we went up into that 455 level, 455. We did come back up pretty closely within 10 cents, 9 cents or so, and then we rejected it again. And then we started heading down towards the 454 level. Now, what I put here is 454 is the largest gamma exposure level to the downside. And then I put calls and puts are very close together, almost another reversal in flow. So calls were above, and then during that time, you can see down a little bit lower, how calls started to sell off quite a bit around that time. So let's move on here. So 454 was our target, right? I just put that there at 7:54 a.m. So 454, I showed you guys that see that 454 level. This one was heading down, this line going negative. So that was our target to the downside. Let's see if we get there. It's at 454, 50-ish right now. It does eventually hit it. I remember quite vividly. Okay, so there's 454. See how it hit it perfectly? 454. So that was at 11:03 a.m. Eastern time, which is 8:03 my time. So this is when I kind of messaged the group here. Since we hit that level, I looked to see what 0DTE gamma exposure levels were doing. So I said 454 gamma exposure level just hit perfectly, and now movement is happening in the gamma exposure. Looking like 455 is heading down now, so maybe a retest of that resistance. So remember what area we rejected off earlier on in the morning? 455. So since this orange line was going down negative, that's the new price target. So let's see what happens here. It's amazing, guys. Just a little side note, it's quite literally magic what happens here. And here's a little bit better view. So this one was at 8:05, and then this one was at 8:19. About 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, you can see clearly that orange line going down. So we bounced perfectly off 454, and we did come back down slightly and kind of retested that 454, not quite, but eventually we do head back up towards that 455 level. So here's the 455 level, which we kind of got back up and we started consolidating around that area. Okay, so we do get a slight rejection at 455. You can see that we hit it, briefly went over it, but not really that much. It wasn't even a candle close, but we did reject that 455 level. And then it gets interesting around when Powell gets on, and you guys will see that. I'm pretty sure we hold this 454 again, by the way, which is really cool to see. Kind of traded in this range, right? So we hit 455 at market open, went down 454, went back up 455, and then back down to 454. I think this is the move that we get up like into FOMC, where we get a move through 455 to 456. And then this is my next comment here. Here, let's move on a little bit towards FOMC when that comes out. Okay, this is where FOMC comes out. Okay, so in 4 minutes on this little time lapse that we have in the chart. So just before that document comes out, before I start this video again, I want you guys to see this chart here. So this was a little bit after that chart came out, but I said 455 and 456 were negative, but they're pretty small, although 455 and 456 were both heading down. So that's something that I always look at. So during that time, it was about 454, and then that's kind of when we got the move through 455. As I play this, you guys will see. Again, guys, look at that, what happened. So FOMC is out by now, and then Powell's coming on right now. As you can see, the volatility starts to happen. But when that document came out right at 1400 Eastern, we went back up to 455, and then we came back down again to 454. These gamma exposure levels are holding very well. And then what I said in that comment that 456 was heading negative, that's usually usually means that price is going to follow, right? Price is going to magnet towards that level. So let's see what happens. There's that big move past 455 to 456. We did get a move back up, and then we went pretty much straight to 457. And that was also a gamma exposure level. If we see this here, let me take a pause here because we're sitting at pretty much the last hour of the market here. So you can see that 457, this orange line here, that was heading up. So that was our resistance, right? So if price got above the negative levels, price always rejects the very positive ones. So this one, in this case, this 457 level was our ceiling. And that was a very big and clear indication that we were going to reject off that level during that time. So 11:59, that's 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that's about where we're at right now. So you can see that we hit off that level perfectly. It doesn't show it very well on this chart here, but that was 457, the very top. It hit, I'm pretty sure it hit to the penny. It probably hit like 456.99 or something. But you can see that rejection happened. Excuse the notifications again. But we got a move through. So just looking at this chart again, you could see that 456 and 455 are both going negative. So that was also a very good indication that we were going to move right through those levels since they're both negative. I'm sorry if I'm rambling. If you have any questions about this as we move on, please feel free to comment. But those levels almost hit to the T. I just love looking at these charts here. This is just moving on throughout the day, and these levels held very, very, very well. Since we got to move through that large 455 level, it was a very, very negative level. Our support level was that 454, as you can see here. Okay, so what I said here at 12:35 p.m., 455 and 456 still a very large negative. So since the gamma exposure levels didn't move quite at all, like very much at all during that time, since it moved through those levels and it didn't move, it was likely going to bounce back up towards those levels since it stayed very, very negative. That's kind of what my comment was here at 12:35. So let's move back 10 minutes here on the video. I can show you exactly what I mean. Right here at 15:35, that's where I posted this little comment here. That 455 and 456 could hit since we moved back above those levels. So let's play this. I'm pretty sure 456 hit almost. It did hit after hours. It's not going to show on this chart, but since those levels were negative, it's amazing to see. It hit 5 minutes after market close from what I remember. So we broke above that 455, and then right at close, we pretty much just shot back up to 456. Okay, you can see it a little bit better here. So this is where 456 hit on that gamma exposure level. Okay, we made it through the video. I'm sorry if you had to sit through that. It was an awesome time going through the gamma exposure levels with you guys and kind of my live commentary. Sorry if it was a little bit draggy, but hopefully I'll do better on the next one. This is very different to kind of go through my live commentary and what happened throughout the day. But I mean, I hope you guys learned something about gamma exposure levels. I know it was a very awesome day for them because market net flow wasn't that great. I usually focus a lot on market net flow during my trades, but today it was a little bit choppy. And with FOMC going on, it was awesome to see that gamma exposure levels were working flawlessly. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post pretty regularly. I want to start posting a lot more. So if you guys have any ideas, drop them in the comments, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next one.